There's been 18 of the 22 games so far. Could you talk a little about what scenarios have you been running and what have the results been?
Our war game is set in 2026. That's the end of the Pentagon's planning period. And it's also a date that a lot of people have focused on as a time when the Chinese might be strong enough to attack Taiwan. Uh, this is really the only war game that's out there in the public domain. What we've seen in these 18 iterations is that the United States and Taiwan and often Japan can prevail. That is, they are able to sustain an autonomous Taiwan that is not occupied by China. On the other hand, they're able to do this at great cost. The forces are badly chewed up. The United States, for example, loses hundreds of aircraft, often over 500 aircraft and two aircraft carriers. The Taiwanese economy is devastated. In the end, we argue that the United States needs to make better preparations in order to deter the Chinese and end the war more quickly.
What have you learnt about the capabilities of Taiwanese armed forces to repel a Chinese attack?
There are a couple of insights that are emerging. One is the importance of the Taiwanese ground forces. In all of our simulations, the Chinese are able to get ashore. It's impossible to stop them on the beach. But the strength of Taiwanese combat forces can isolate them on the beach, while air and naval forces attrite the Chinese amphibious fleet, and ultimately, often the Chinese forces are isolated and can't move. The importance of some asymmetric capabilities, like anti-ship missiles, is very important. Some capabilities, like surface ships, are much less valuable because of their vulnerability to the Chinese. So the Taiwanese are not going to be able to uh, field a standard military, if you will, as they've done in the past. An asymmetric military would be much more effective in repelling a Chinese attack.